What's your comment? And do you think there will be improvement in bilateral relations after the new president took office?
中韩关系发展的根本动力源于双方的共同利益，不针对第三方。
China-ROK relations are propelled fundamentally by the two countries' common interests. The relations do not target any third party and should not be disrupted by any third-party factor. China opposes making countries choose sides and block confrontation. We stand ready to work with the ROK to pursue sound and steady bilateral ties to the benefit of the two peoples and play a positive role in making our region more peaceful, stable, and prosperous. Next one, please.
韩国先生提问：今天美国白宫向李在明当选祝贺，同时提到中国对全世界。
News one clearer. White House said in a statement following President Lee Jae-myung's election that the ROK holds free election while the U.S. is concerned about China's interference in global diplomacy. What's your comment?
We noted this. China follows the principle of non-interference in other countries' internal affairs. We have never interfered in other countries' internal affairs and will not do so. China is not a mirror image of the U.S. The U.S. should stop speculating on what China will do based on its own behavior and stop sowing discord between China and the ROK. Next one, please.
Hi, question from Bloomberg News. President Donald Trump posted on Truth Social around 2 a.m. Washington time that
特朗普总统在真实社交上发帖称，他喜欢习近平主席，但习主席非常强硬且很难达成协议。外交部对此有回应。
中方
China's principle and the position of developing China-US relations is consistent. Next one, please.
日本广播协会提问，今天是天安门事件26周年。
NHK, today marks the 36th anniversary of the Tiananmen Square incident, and families of the victims are still demanding accountability and compensation. What's China's position? And the Chinese government often calls for taking history as a mirror on diplomatic occasions. So, in this case, what attitude or measures will the ministry take?
对于上世纪80年代
On the political disturbance in the late 1980s, the Chinese government drew a clear conclusion long ago. The path of socialism with Chinese characteristics suits the realities was chosen by history and the Chinese people. It has the wholehearted support of all Chinese and is fully recognized by the international community. We will stick to this path and pursue national rejuvenation through Chinese modernization. Next one, please.
谢发言人，总台国广记者提问：目前，巴基斯坦政府和阿富汗临时政府宣布将两国外交官。
The Pakistani government and the Afghan interim governments announced to upgrade diplomatic relations to ambassadorial level. What's your comment? Recently, the governments of Pakistan and Afghan interim governments announced to upgrade the bilateral relations to ambassadorial level. China welcomes this and believes that this will help the two sides enhance mutual trust, step up cooperation, and keep the region peaceful and stable. It is an important positive action of Pakistan and Afghanistan to implement the outcomes of the unofficial meeting between the foreign ministers of China, Afghanistan, and Pakistan. China stands ready to continue playing a constructive role for improving and developing the relations between Afghanistan and Pakistan. China stands ready to work with the two countries and other countries in the region to keep the country peaceful, stable, and promote the development of the region and build a community with a shared future with our neighbors. Next one, please.
Thank you. Question from AFP. U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio posted on X today to mark 36 years since the crackdown.
美国国务卿卢比奥今天也在社交媒体上发表声明，来纪念6·4事件。中方对卢比奥的声明有何回应？
有关的
The wrongful U.S. statement is a deliberate distortion of history and facts, an ill-motivated attack on China's political system and development path, and serious interference in China's internal affairs. China strongly deplores and firmly opposes it and has made serious protests with the U.S. On the political disturbance that took place towards the end of the 1980s, the Chinese government drew a clear conclusion long ago. The path of socialism with Chinese characteristics is the choice of history and of the people. It has the wholehearted support of all Chinese and is fully recognized by the international community. We will stick to this path and pursue national rejuvenation through Chinese modernization. No country or force in the world can stop the Chinese people from forging ahead. Next one, please.
谢谢发言人。东方卫视记者提问。那么刚才呢也提到说，就是在本月的在今天，韩国中央选举管理委员会公布了韩国总统选举的计票结果。
Lee Jae-myung, the candidate of Democratic Party, was elected president of South Korea. According to the vote count released by National Election Commission, what's your comment? What's your expectation for the bilateral relations? President Xi Jinping has sent a congratulatory message to President Lee Jae-myung on his election as the 21st president of South Korea. China and ROK are each other's important close neighbors and cooperation partners. China highly values relations with the ROK and stands ready to work with the ROK to cherish the shared commitment that led to the establishment of diplomatic ties, firmly pursue good neighborliness and friendly ties, stick to the goal of win-win cooperation, and jointly advance bilateral strategic cooperative partnership and bring greater benefit to the two countries and peoples.
China Daily. Recently, at the Shangri-La Dialogue, a European leader linked the Taiwan question with the Ukraine issue, alluded to so-called China threats on the South China Sea issue, and suggested that NATO has the ground to be involved in the Asia-Pacific. What's your comment? We firmly oppose relevant remarks. Taiwan is an inalienable part of China's territory. The Taiwan question is entirely China's internal affair. The Taiwan question and the Ukraine crisis are not comparable at all. China firmly opposes any remarks and moves that attempts to confuse or distort the nature of the Taiwan question, and urges relevant sides to abide by the One China principle with concrete actions and respect China's sovereignty and territorial integrity. The current situation in the South China Sea is generally stable. There isn't any problem with the freedom of navigation and overflights that countries enjoy in accordance with the law. China stands for properly resolving maritime disputes and differences through negotiation and consultation with countries directly concerned on the basis of respecting historical facts. Countries outside the region need to respect the efforts of regional countries to uphold peace and stability in the South China Sea instead of instigating tensions and creating disputes. As a regional defensive military organization, NATO has no right to reach beyond its geographical scope and mandate defined by its treaty. China firmly opposes NATO's attempt to make eastward inroads into the Asia-Pacific, stir up tensions and create confrontation in the region, and sabotage regional or even global peace and stability. Asia-Pacific countries do not welcome NATO's foray into the Asia-Pacific, and the region does not need an Asia-Pacific version of NATO. Let me stress that Asia is the common home for China and other Asian countries. In recent years, thanks to the joint effort of regional countries, Asia has maintained rapid growth and become a pace-setter in global growth and peaceful development. China stays committed to the principle of amity, sincerity, mutual benefit, and inclusiveness in neighborhood diplomacy, firmly opposes bloc confrontation, and never seeks so-called sphere of influence. Relevant sides should not make ill-intentioned speculation, also discord between Asia-Pacific countries based on Cold War mentality. Instead, they need to do more for peace, stability, and prosperity in the Asia-Pacific. Next one, please.
Thank you. Another from AFP. The United States Justice Department said Tuesday that 2 Chinese students have been charged with smuggling a toxic fungus into the United States.
美国司法部称2名中国人因为走私有毒的菌种真菌种而遭到调查起诉，你对此有何回应？
情况
I'm not familiar with that. The Chinese government always asks its citizens overseas to observe local laws and regulations, and we also protect the lawful and legitimate rights and interests of Chinese citizens overseas. Next one, please.
还有其他问题吗？
Any more questions?
好，那今天的记者会就。
That's the end of today's press conference. Thank you for coming.